And we should be live. Hello everybody and welcome back to the final race of the season here in the Yas Island Circuit in Abu Dhabi for the Freshman League. I am 2.028 and I am joined for the last time this season by...
Hello guys, it is myself, X and Natty G, and yeah, like you said, we are here for the final round of the season. Here at Abu Dhabi, we've got 17 drivers that will line up on the grid and hopefully it'll provide some decent racing for us.
Oh yeah, so the championship is already wrapped up, so this one is purely for fun then. We've got a lot of drivers going out there trying to stake a claim in the final race of the season. It's no holds barred now between teammates. The top three in the Constructors and Drivers' Championship is decided. It's about now the battle for fifth in the Constructors' Natty, which I believe is between Williams, Racing Point, Renault, Ferrari and McLaren, if that is correct.
I think so, and Haas.
And Haas, yes, of course. Speaking of Haas, Tiger Assassin gets his provisional pole time beaten by Tonio. It's almost instantly there, 35.0. The current provisional pole time as Tiger goes across the grass down there at turn 5. But let's talk a bit about this track, Natty. One with a bit of a reputation for not providing the greatest races. In fact, the real life race a couple of days ago now, at the time of recording, was not great. It was a bit of a snooze fest. I mean, a lot of 90-degree corners around here, so it's hopefully we'll get some good racing here today, but obviously nothing's ever a guarantee. But I'm sure the drivers will do their best to make it as captivating an experience as possible for all of us sitting here in the grandstands and enjoy joining us in the chat. But yeah, Natty, I think the big question about today is going to be tyre wear. How do you see this one playing out?
Yeah, the majority of drivers starting on the softs. A soft hard is theoretically possible, but the amount of time you'd lose on the Warner soft and hard tyres is probably too much to you know, it's not a strategy you really want to be on. So maybe a two-stop for the majority of these guys. Just Kev out on the mediums, currently in second place. Might be going for the one-stop and stretching those mediums.
I think Absolute's doing some more donuts. Obviously, winning the Drivers' Championship last time out in Brazil, so still celebrating that. And I think, yeah, both of the Red Bulls not quite over that yet. But nice to see that they're enjoying the celebrations. The first time that the championship has actually been wrapped up before the final round here in the Freshman League. They're going to do a little bit of formation driving in, so we'll keep the camera on the two Red Bulls, and they've both been brilliant this season, really, and hopefully we'll see them both moving on to more competitive championships in the future.
So, as like I was saying earlier, Jitsu Kev, only 10th behind Tony is on the mediums. I'm not sure if he's going to start the race on those mediums. We're doing some, I don't know if he's done donuts, but he might have done a few spins and got them up the temperature a bit, so he might go out for a set of softs later on in the lap. We've got two other people on the mediums, Sabo the Mister and Alex Gunn and Max, and they might be trying to do the one stop as well. It's possible soft, medium to hard, sorry. So let's just see how strategy plays out.
Yeah, just cut back down here. Absolute's doing some more donuts for us at the second chicane. It was nice to see it. Drivers having a bit of fun in the final round of the season here, Natty. But yeah, I think for both seasons now, I've had the Red Bulls win the Drivers' and the Constructors' Championship here in the Freshman League. So if you want to win, you have to drive the Red Bull, apparently. So there you go.
Yeah, both Red Bulls have been great all season. We've seen both. I think both of them have come from last to first at some point.
Yeah, something like that. Which is a bit mad, really. But yeah, it goes to show the kind of races that we've had so far in the Freshman League, and hopefully this will be another corker. It definitely was last season. As you were involved in that one, actually, I think you finished on the podium, the final podium of the season. But yeah, what was the biggest struggle for you last season in this track? Is it the track limits? Because obviously we are seeing a lot of drivers invalidate their laps, and in real life we saw a lot of laps being deleted, a lot of lap times being deleted because of exceeding track limits. So also something that might be playing on the drivers' minds a bit, as Absolute's got wing damage.
Yeah, track limits, especially in the final sector, can be a pain. All these drivers are going to be wanting to push as much as they can, and maybe going a bit wide at the penultimate corner can definitely ruin your lap, and it's a good chance you'll ruin the next one as well. So track limits is definitely something to keep an eye out on, and also the tyre wear. It's a similar one to Mexico, but it's not as bad as Mexico, but the grip and the time start to drop off massively.
Certainly, as RC8 now goes to provisional pole on the 1 minute 34.8 then, currently 2 tenths ahead of Tonios, who also joins the front row at the moment. Still got 8 minutes and about 40 seconds left to run here in this qualifying session, so we are going to approach a bit of a down point before we get the final run. It's got a fast-moving Tonsuri coming through, oh no, sorry, not Tonsuri, Ellison even, coming through the end of the first set. So what can the Racing Point driver do? I think a chance at redemption really, maybe for Racing Point. Haven't had the best of seasons, have been involved in plenty of much their fair share of controversy over this season, but hopefully now they can end the season on a high with a decent result for both drivers. In fact, this looks like quite a promising lap for Ellison, or at least it did before he missed his braking point down at turn 8 there.
Yeah, turn 8, really difficult corner. It's kind of misjudged, especially if you have the DRS and overtake in the race. It can go deep.
Oh, Daz is out. What's happened there then? Let's try and board of him for Melon.
Lost it on turn 3.
Yeah, indeed he has. Let's see if we can see what's happened there. We're board of Infamous, Savage the Mister even, coming through turns 1 and 2. To be able to see the Renault, and yeah, indeed has just lost it there on the right hand side. I think I saw a Robert Codfather on the grass as well, maybe getting out of the way for, is that his teammate? No, it's the Williams of, that must be GSY Bates.
Yeah, I think we saw a few people lose it at that corner last season in the freshmen. Well, not just the freshmen as well, but I think quite a few people lost it down at turn 3. So,
yeah, I'm going to try and get mine. Just trying to get my, yeah, there you go. Just trying to get my fastest laps reset so it shows the accurate time. Sector 3, goes in Sector 3, is that a hat that's gone off? Is that Robert Codfather there? Yeah, just going on to the Astro to let his teammate Tiger Assassin through. And speaking of Tiger Assassin, he's coming towards the end of his lap now. I haven't seen if he's up on his time yet though, Nat. He's coming around the final corner now though. It could be a decent lap here from the Haas driver who has had increasingly good qualifying over the last couple of races, and indeed goes on to the second row of the grid with a 35.7. And that isn't a bad time from the Haas driver, Natty.
Not a bad time indeed. 6 tenths behind Jutsukev. Jutsukev though is out on a set of soft tyres. He looks to be starting a flying lap. Whether he'll complete this one or whether this is one for the cameras, we'll have to wait and see. But it looks to be a competitive start.
Yeah, certainly. I'm on watching GSY Bates now. He comes through the turns 9 and 10. Chicane and down this back straight, a corner that very easily could have been redesigned but wasn't, so DRS open now down the back straight into 11, 12 and 13, 21 corners in total here at the Yas Island circuit, named after the artificial island that it is situated on in Abu Dhabi, and in the UAE even, get the country right, but coming out of turns 14 then down in towards this hotel section, which quite a controversial section. Some drivers like it, some don't really like it all that much. I'm one of those people who I don't really mind it, but it can be kind of annoying to drive at times, but it's actually not terrible. In real life, it doesn't provide much overtaking opportunity, but in the game, it's I feel like it's an okay section. As GSY Bateside rounds the final corner, it's a 35.1, puts himself now ahead of Tiger Assassin into 4th position, so those who are really duking it out in the early stages of this qualifying session then.
And I was just riding aboard with Jutsukev in the first half of his lap, currently a 10th and a half up on his time through the middle sector. It seemed all clear in the first sector, now coming underneath the hotel for the final sector.
Lovely shot.
It does have a Ferrari, might get a little bit dirty, hitting the 50-metre board, which I'm sure will be gone in the race in the first few laps as he comes through the final corner now in the run up to the line and goes on provisional pole, 1 minute 34.5, 3 tenths clear of RC8.
So Jutsukev laying down the gauntlet then for the other drivers to go out there and try to beat. Currently Absolute 11 still down there in 14th position on a 2 minute 13.2, so I'm sure he can go a lot faster than that in this qualifying session. Trying to see who else is on the lap. Ace de Sabe now starting his lap as he had another car pop up on the order there. It was that Triple O who went into 6th position there, Natty, on the soft tyres.
I believe it was. Yes.
Always interesting to see. Ellison has also gone out for an out lap then. On those soft tyres, let's see what else is on the lap. Hampton's coming into the pits. Brizzi has invalidated his lap. Ace de Sabo coming through the middle sector now down this very, very long back straight, which shortens up to 2 lanes for the next corner. Let's see how he takes this in the Alfa Romeo. Picks it up very beautifully there and gets the second apex as well on the power. Short shift up through the gears. DRS open now down this curved back straight. It's a curvy boy, and now down towards the next corner, brings it to the right hand side of the track before heavy braking, now down into third gear and to second gear. Takes it very gingerly, in fact, as the Alfa Romeo, not using all of the curve there. Again, very gingerly from the Alfa Romeo. Doesn't want to invalidate this lap, wants to get a time on the board and be competitive with his teammate. Then coming through the beginning of the hotel section and into sector 3 down into third gear for the right hander at turn 17 through turn 18 and 19, now heading up towards turns 20 and 21. Then short shot up through the gears, brings the car to the middle of the track, brakes very late down into fifth gear. Again, he doesn't want to run over those curves now. He's not extracting all of the time from the track as he maybe could. Going to come to the line though. It's a 35.9, so does put himself up into 6th place and ahead of the Mercedes of Triple O at the moment.
Tinturi also improves and goes up into 9th place in his racing point. Still not seeing any activity just as of yet from the Red Bull garage of Absolute 11. He might try and do a fun race starting from the back, seeing as he hasn't set a time yet. Ellison and Nifamella also haven't set a time. Ellison's just started his lap and Nifamella's on an out lap, so we should hopefully see some laps from those two pretty shortly.
Yeah, certainly. As Ellison now coming through the beginning of sector 2 even, at the hairpin of turn 8. I'm going to go down the back straight here, going to have the DRS open about halfway down it. And another big overtaking opportunity in the race. I don't think Absolute is going back out on track now, so I think he's going to have a fun race there, starting from, well, at best 15th position at the moment. That being said, I've just had an engine fire up. Let's get rid of the UI here and see who's coming out of the pits. There's a car coming out down there. There's a racing point, and now for Tauri, Mercedes there, Triple O coming out of the pit lane as well. Yeah, gonna have the UI back up here then. So Edison's still on his lap through turns 11, 12 and 13 down towards turn 14. Very short blast to turn 14. Has missed the apex though. Maybe a little bit too much understeer in that racing point at the moment. They're coming down towards the hotel, and that got very antsy for Ellison and has in fact Natty invalidated his lap time, and that could be the end of Ellison's qualifying as he got yellows in sector 1. That's an Alfa Romeo of RC8 who was going slowly, letting another car go past, I think, so that's not going to be a massive issue for him.
Yeah, with now just under a minute and a half left in quali, we've got a lot of people starting their out laps, and I don't think Absolute's just come up the garage now. He's on the start-finish straight, but I don't think he's going to get around to complete another lap.
This is like a decent lap from Tiger Assassin as well in the Haas, coming through the hotel section now, braking in a straight line down into second gear over the curb, gets the car shifted up into turn 18 now, misses the apex a bit into turn 19 now as well, has missed the apex again, but he can still claw it back in this final sector, coming up to the final couple of corners into fourth gear for the Haas, and he's going to take it like a champ through the final corner now, over the curb. Beautiful line through there, short shift to the line. What's going to be for Tiger Assassin? It's a 35.4, so improves on his lap time, but crucially Natty not on his position. GSY Bates now, what can he do? Can he put his Williams up into the top 3 for the first time this season?
Yeah, GSY Bates trying to do Williams good in the constructors. Oh, pretty close. Yeah, the drivers that are all fighting for that 5th place in constructors are all relatively close to each other. You've got Bates for the Williams, Tiger for Haas, Triple O the Mercedes, Brizzy and Hampton, both McLarens in the top 10, so it's still all to play for the top 5 for the 5th place in constructors.
As Natty, Jitsu, Kevin, RC aren't going to get round to the line here. The timer has just run out. They're only coming through the final corner now. So I think they've left it too late. Unless we have a glitch up here in the commentary box, I don't think they're going to be able to start these laps. And actually they are, because the game, yeah, okay. Alright, Codemasters did say that they'd fixed that, apparently not. Absolute's going to be able to start his lap as well now at the end of the session. But yeah, that's disappointing to say the least, because when the timer runs out, those are meant to be the last laps. But anyway, Jitsu kept up on his lap time as well. It's going to go back up here to GSY Bates. Coming through turns 11, 12 and 13 over the curb. Beautifully done there. These freshman drivers really like to take a lot of the curb there on entrance and exits in some of these corners, and it is working for them in terms of the lap time. Then GSY Bates up on his time through the middle sector, and R6 retired from the session, so he's had a crash somewhere. Or I think that's a manual retirement down the back straight even, sorry. And GSY Bates is back out of a lap, Natty.
So yeah, Bates won't be improving on his lap, I don't think. Well, he's also invalid, so yeah, can't improve. Tonios is also invalidated, is his lap. Jutsukev though is 2.5 tenths up in the middle sector.
This could be a very strong time from the Red Bull.
Yeah, definitely, and Absolute 11 is, well, 21.8 seconds up on the middle sector. So it's hard to judge what type of time he's doing. He's currently set at 2 minute 13, so I'll have to wait and see what Absolute does on the end of the session.
Yeah, here comes Jutsukev coming around the final couple of corners. Can he further cement his claim to pole position here in Abu Dhabi at the final race of the season? The two Red Bull teammates have taken several 1-2s over the course of the season, and Jutsukev 1 minute 33.9. That is the time that Absolute 11 has to beat. Then coming through the final corner now, his fellow Red Bull teammate coming to the line. Can Absolute snatch pole away at the end here? No, he can't. It's Jutsukev on pole from the Absolute 11 in second. And by 6/10 of a second, that is quite some gap.
And Ellison invalidated his final lap, which means he didn't get a time set at the end of the session, so we'll be starting from the back of the grid. But yeah, a really good lap from Jutsukev. He's put himself on pole by, well, almost over 6/10 there. And over his Red Bull teammate, Absolute. It's another 1-2 for the team, and a great way to seal out their final quali of the season.
Yeah, and that gives us a second to look in the chat here. Thank you to all 19 of you watching so far. Hopefully we'll get that number boosted up a bit for this race. Cash Channel, yeah, exactly. Red Bull does give you wings. Exactly my thoughts. Piero, oh, he predicts a podium for Tiger. You need to stop doing this, man, because you keep doing this and he keeps crashing, and then he gets angry and... yeah, we have to deal with it. But anyway, your grid here today. Jutsukev is on pole then. Absolute 11 in second. RC8 third. Tonios in fourth. GSY Bates in fifth. Tiger Assassin in sixth. Ace Sabo seventh. Tripolo eighth. Brizzy ninth. And it's McLaren fifth row lockout with Hampton in 10th. Chunchuri will be the first car to start with 3 tyre choice in 11th, Daza in 12th, Sabado Mister in 13th, Alexander Mack in 14th, Robert Codfather 15th, Intermiller 16th, and Edison rounding out the finishes here in 17th position at the moment. But yeah, hello to Cryptech as well, Jutsukev. He thought he was going to try the last first, but he's now joined his teammate on the front row there. JKM, good to see you as well. Cherry G, nice to see you back in the chat. Good evening, Black Country Atoms Clan. I have no idea what that is. I assume it's Buenos Aires. Oh, is that like... Is that Spanish? I think I'm about to get slated in the chat now for not knowing that's like Italian or Latin or something. But anyway, let's get to the race then. I mean, unless there's some utter craziness, Natalie, we should have a completely dry race. Yeah,
I don't think it's very unlikely, especially with dynamic weather, that it's going to rain in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, we are, of course, in the middle of the desert. All of the fans seem very happy here, or fist bumping at the same time, or punching their fists in the air at the same time. Well, that looks, that does not look great, no. Other arms, lads. But anyway, this is a crazy race, yeah, maybe. Definitely not, not impossible for the freshman leagues having a crazy race of some sort, but I was working out their strategies then, Natty. Now, we were talking about this before, just for all the viewers who've just joined us now. Soft, medium, soft is what the game says. Soft, hard is theoretically possible. Soft, medium is one that I assume most drivers will go for. It's really hard to call here. Really hard to call.
Yeah, just having a quick look at what tyres people are starting the race on. Everyone outside the top 10 starting on the yellow striped medium compounded tyres. So maybe a one stop from those guys. We'll have to wait and see.
Which could definitely see them leapfrog a lot of the other drivers up the field. And in fact, there you go on the screen for you. Predicted pit stop strategy, then soft, medium, or soft, medium. Coming in at around lap 8 and then at around lap, I think it was 13 to 15 as the red ball just goes across the tarmac. I really love to see it. And they do a bit of formation, are they, for this lap? Nice to see, as always. So we'll keep the camera on them for a little bit while I go back here and pause the stream for it so I can read the settings here. Mara's in the chat saying soft medium is possible as well. Okay, so we might even see that. Blank Countryman saying medium hard. Again, another strategy those drivers outside the top 10 may have gone for. In fact, you can see there, as Natty was saying, up on the screen, every driver outside of the top 10 has started on those medium yellow striped tyres. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Also, if there's a safety car, that could throw another curveball into the strategy. And if you are on those mediums, then the strategy you're trying to do may have just been blown out of the water and you're kind of stuck with nothing at that point. But yeah, really hard to call, Natty. Which one do you think is going to be the right strat?
It's going to be tough. I'm going to say, guys, Centurion, Daza, Savo, those guys at the top edge of the bottom half of the grid, if they can get a good start and keep it clean, I think those guys are going to have a really good chance to do the medium hard. You've got to get a good start on those mediums, maybe try and push the soft guys into a mistake, make them burn out their tyres, and keep it clean until you have to pit for the hard tyres.
Yeah, certainly is going to have our drivers work themselves then towards the end of the formation lap. And for one final time here in the Freshman League for Season 2 of this particular league in Gavra Racing, we're going to go to the 5 red lights here on the grid. Red Bull 1-2, as it has been for a lot of the season. RCA backing them up in 3rd as well. Let's go racing here, boys, and hopefully we'll have a good one to round out the season here.
And just before we start, I've just seen Atom's Clan's message. Buonosa is Italian for good evening.
Oh, thank you, Natty. So, Mr. Worldwide. Alright, let's go for one final time this season. Let's go to 5 red lights for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Oh, Ace Sabo has jumped the start there. And he's reversing back into his grid slot, or attempting to.
Have we had a lobby glitch with Ace Sabo?
I think we may have done. Let me run board with Jutsuka because those lights are not turning on at the moment. Okay, hang on a minute. We might be about to get going here. Maybe. Potentially. Please. No. Oh, there's a predicted pit stop strategy again. 8 to 13, then 17 to 21. For those of you who wanted to see that game. Yeah, we have done, haven't we? I was kind of just sat here hoping that it wouldn't be true, but yeah, we definitely have. So I assume Tiger will be in charge of making the restart. Yeah, sorry about this, everybody. Yeah, one last time. Let me see what's going on here. What we're gonna be doing. Yes, I don't think whatever Ace Sabo does now is probably not going to help the current situation. Oh, it's Ace Sabo's internet. I think it's gone down.
Is this fun?
Yeah, just trying to find out what's going on. Yeah, you're going to have a restart, I think.
Yeah, migrating host.
Alright, and so, X-Cherry, that's good to see. Natty, you might want to take that one. Right, so, what do people want to see then? Obviously within reason, we can't start playing GTA. So we are just stuck on the grid here, so I'll let you look at the beautiful F1 2020 cars until we get some... I know we are going to... Right, well the 5 lights are on now, but yeah, people are leaving the session here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cars coming through the corner here. Alright, so you have a safety car straight off the bat here. Alright, let's leave this.
God, there's been a big. I don't know if you remember Germany in the Premier Series last season when we had all of those lobby glitches.
Yeah.
That we just ended up doing a demolition derby.
Yeah.
This is what it's like.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a final race of the Freshman League without some kind of lobby glitch of some sort. So, what do people want to see? Cars, tracks, Natty's face. Yeah, I think that was definitely Italian. 2010 cars, pizza time. Buenas noches. Hello, Mr. Schumacher. Oh, Mr. Schumacher's back. Oh, hi, Tiger.
Hello once again, sorry. I'm not host this time, so we'll have no problems.
Okay.
Thought I'd just come in and say hi, ask how everyone's doing. Hope they're enjoying it so far. I could have done better in my quali. Didn't get the time that I wanted. Just couldn't hook the lap together. Sorry for the inconvenience, and yeah, goodbye. Hope you all enjoy.
Alright. Well, that was station announcer Tiger there, coming in and explaining the delay for us. Oh, F2. Actually, that's a brilliant segue. Thank you for the suggestion, Cash Stengel and GSY Bates. Because, Natty, F2 post-season championship will be a 4-race championship held across 4 different tracks, obviously, with a sprint race and a feature race in the F2 2020 cars. Now, unfortunately, where there are 22, different drive cars, in F2, we can only have a lobby of 22 people. So because we want to stream it, we can't, have a 24-man lobby, but that's just the game, unfortunately. So we are getting an invite back. So, but anyway, more information on that will be released on Friday. The lobbies and lobby settings and corner cutting setups and such. But yeah, that will be the F2 League. More information to come on Friday. I'm sure Tiger will remind you on Wednesday when we are back with the Premier Series tomorrow around Abu Dhabi. The lead in the Constructors' Championship still to be decided in that particular championship. And then on Thursday, join Tiger and Siphonite, it should be, for the final race of the Super League, the fastest Formula 1 league here in Gavra Racing. But anyway, also look out for more news about that F2 League coming out very, very soon. But I have had an invite from Gav, so we can either do like a very short 3-lap race. Actually, no, I'll do a track. I'll do a quick time trial lap in an F2 car. How about that? Just that we don't waste any time.
Do the time trial lap. I'll just sit here in the lobby.
Alright then, so let's go in the UNI Virtuosi and we'll go take it around Bahrain, why not?
No pressure, you've got 27 people watching.
I've never felt more pressured in my life. Right, so Bahrain, a track that obviously F2 do race at in real life, and I think, Mick Schumacher won this race in real life? Oh, one of the future of the sprint races, I'm sure. I remember Calamaro getting out of shape into turn 10 and not having the greatest of times. I'm in his teammate Guan Yu Zhou's car, however, and I'm going to sling on a setup that I have for this track. So I did it in my career mode. There we go, lovely stuff then. So, a lap of Bahrain in Formula 2. Maybe something you can look forward to in the near future with the F2 League, ladies and gents, or maybe not. We have to wait and see for that announcement on Friday, and I'm going to restart the lap because I'm validated this one and the next one. So not the best start, but anyway then, coming down to the final corner here in Bahrain. Alright then, so round the final corner, which counts as 2 corners for some reason, but DRS open then, down the main straight, already up on the default ghost time, that's what we like to see. Make sure the brake bias is all correct. So come down in towards turn 1, braking at the beginning of the curve, getting everything nice and slowed down, losing the rear as the rear axle locks up a bit through that corner. Now we're going flat through turn 3 and up the hill towards turn 4. DRS open once again, going to use all of the track here on the outside, run it out a little bit, and then braking once again after that. A little bit of tarmac there. Big lockup, however, we've gone very wide, and that's not going to make me look great, but still learning the track obviously. Less grip than in F1, these cars. So again, taking it nice and slow through turns 5 and 6. We invalidated the lap, but it doesn't matter because we're going to keep going now through turn 7. Short stop for the gears once again, now down towards turns 9 and 10. Tricky to get right in a Formula 1 car, less so in a Formula 2 car. Got less speed, less downforce, much more fun to drive, and now we're coming through towards the end of sector 3, heading up towards the 2 death corners, as you like to call them. All of my braking boards have disappeared. Don't know why that's happened, but it has. And now coming through turns 11 and 12, also known as death corner from the freshman league last season, indeed this season. Now come down the back straight, one of the longest straights on the track. Obviously linked up with the Bahrain outer track. You saw the Sakir Grand Prix a couple of weeks ago. And then to second gear, if it will let me, for the final corner, which indeed it doesn't. But on the power once again, to the line. Time's invalidated, doesn't matter though, because we need to head back over to the actual lobby. But maybe something that you cannot look forward to for the F2 League. Cannot say anything just yet. Just going to skip through that particular cutscene.
There you go.
Thank you, Natty. And yeah, I am gonna very quickly join the as I've clicked on the wrong menu, join back to the other lobby. Right, my PlayStation is lagging a bit. Let's go. Aston, that's not very nice. You're not racing next season now. Yeah, I was trying to aim for the outer track, Pierre. I thought we could do a very quick lap time. I'd maybe get the lap record if we did that.
Just take a detour off it.
Yeah, exactly. I think we have everybody here now, so yeah, I was just wasting everybody's time. Sorry about that, but Bahrain.
Oh, we've got things to do, places to be. You're doing time trial.
Yeah, in fact, in the recent news, we have EA obviously buying Codemasters. The controversial one, Natty. I mean, personally, it can either go well, it can either go terribly, because although FIFA, EA obviously have their reputation for microtransactions, I think the resources that they can bring to Codemasters and bring to the game could mean that we just get less of these lobby glitches and stuff like that, and like small things that are patched and fixed, and we get more features potentially in offline as well. Who'd love to see, you know, an F1 The Journey type thing? Like, I personally think that would be awesome. Just something to, like, to keep people coming back, like a story element to the offline mode, because right now, although my team is fun for the first season and a half maybe, by like the end of season 2, season 3, or season 6 if you're ex-Natty G, you're in a position season where 7. Like, yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry, I'll get it right for next time. You're in a position where your team is just so overpowered that whatever happens, you're gonna still be the fastest car. So yeah, hopefully it will make the game better, and we can all look back on this as a good time for the F1 games, or a good time in the future for the F1 games. But for now, we're here for the Freshman League in Abu Dhabi. Hopefully we'll be able to get to 5 red lights here and get going as soon as possible.
I think everyone jokes about, you know, EA and their microtransactions. Looking back at the old EA F1 games, you had to earn track. You have to get like 100 wins or something to unlock Monaco. So I don't think in 2021. I don't think that's something EA are going to do.
Yeah, I think as long as the fundamentals of the game aren't compromised, as you say, Natty, with paying for tracks and such, I honestly don't mind it. One thing I did like from some of their F1 games is that in the story mode, you'd start off as a test driver, and you'd have to work your way into a reserve role, test and reserve role. Into a racing driver role, even by doing little practice programs and stuff in the car. That's like at Magny-Cours or one of the other F1 tracks they have in season testing. I think something like that would be really, really cool, or like a young season program or something, driver program.
I was going to say they might bring back the young driver program that Codemasters had in 2013, or 14, something like that.
Or just something to make it feel like a bit more immersive or something, because it feels like you do have F2 obviously, but even after that transition, it's like you just jump into an F1 car and then off you go. But yeah, we're going to have a session starting in about a second. Drivers, remember your setups, because otherwise you might be in for a difficult race, unless you're Absolute, who raced with no setup in Russia and won.
I was going to say, hopefully the top 10 have started on the softs. We'd have Bruce and Hampton who'd have started on mediums.
So that'd be LRP2 or something for next season, because they are not allowed to do that. So that'll be an additional penalty then for Brizzy and Hampton, which is unfortunate for them, but it's not very hard to start on the right tyres. So yeah, that's a very simple instruction there. It's just to make sure everything's still fair. So the team of McLaren's on the wrong tyres will be receiving an additional penalty then. So you've got most of the field now on the set of the medium tyres, and the top 8 now on the soft. So we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. Yes, Gavra, we also hope this time the lobby does work and we can get going here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
With now half the grid on the mediums and half on the softs, it's going to be very interesting to see which one of them, or how many of those people on the medium tyres are going to do the one stop, and how many are going to do a medium soft or a soft. So safety cars are definitely going to change strategies in early one. For the soft runners, might see them coming for the hard tyres maybe to go to the end. We'll just have to wait and see how things turn out.
Yes, and we've got not the longest run down into third one, so the pack will still be fairly bunched up by the time that we get there, as Absolute goes very wide down there at turn 30. But it should still be an interesting one. I remember we had a bit of a crash last season in the Premier Series, which was quite a big one, down at turn 4, but hopefully our drivers will be able to get past that, get through it. I'm just looking at Absolute 11 here, with a nice new helmet there, new helmet base on his German-themed helmet. Jitsi Kev as well, running with the same helmet he has been all season. Same for RCA and Tonios there, but had a lot of ups and downs this season. Let's hope to finish on a high here with a good race here in Yas Marina.
Like you say, not a long run down towards turn 1. I can't speak, but yeah, turn 8, especially on the first lap, is it's going to be tight. A lot of people are going to be trying to go for those moves down the inside with the heavy brake and chicane, and it should hopefully be a good overtaking spot for the majority of drivers tonight.
Alright, so let's get ready to rumble for one final time then here in the Freshman League. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Let's get ready to go to 5 red lights. You can hear the lights going on. Here we go then, and it's going to be... It's the revs build for one final time this season. It's going to be lights out and away we go. Excellent start from RCA. He's going to try and split the Red Bulls now in towards turn 1. RCA up the inside, gets into the lead almost immediately there. Absolute down the inside of his teammate as well. We've got contact at the back, I think, for the car round as well. And coming through the first sector, we've got RCA storming into the lead here. Yellows in sector 1, those should clear up pretty quickly. And Jitsi Kev has had a bad start down in second, and to Absolute now down into third. Tiger Assassin going down the inside. Oh, and he's hit the AlphaTauri of Tonios, and that's going to maybe be be an extra penalty for Tiger Assassin there, as AlphaTauri is now hit. The Williams as well of GSY Bates, our front three, breaking away at the moment then. There's going to be RC8 who still leads from Jutsikev, but for how long? Because here comes Jutsikev now, down in towards turn 7. Can he get alongside in the head of the Alfa Romeo? Under braking, here comes the Red Bull. He's going on the inside into the chicane, gets the move done, forces the Alfa Romeo wide and gets himself back up into the lead of the race. Ace Stabner is going past, we've got a big crash, and Ace Stabner has been spun round, and we've got cars blocking the track now down in sector 2, and we're going 3, 4 wide sometimes in some cases, down into towards turns 11, 12 and 13. The next chicane now, so here we go then, looking at the midfield battle now. We've got a gaggle of cars all over the place. Ace Stabner's down the inside of the Mercedes, Ellison's going very wide, swoops around the outside of the Renault of Daza, gets on the inside of Hampton now for the next corner, and that has maybe been one of the most electric starts that we've seen. Ellison now down the inside of Daza. Daza returning the favour then on Ellison down at turn 14. Absolute Levin's now got himself back up ahead of RC, who's spun. RC has spun round at the hotel section. Turnez is now on the back of the Alfa Romeo as well.
Yeah, chaotic start. Saba the Mister jumped the start. No, I think someone jumped the start, and I think it was Saba who jumped the start and then hit someone. That's why he's been disqualified already from the session, and a lot of damage in the midfield trying to avoid him.
Obviously, had Alex and the Mac a massive swap of oversteer there at the second to last corner.
Yeah, a lot of drivers in the midfield have picked up damage. I think Ellison's got a damaged front wing. Bates is in to repair his wing as well. And we've got car hits Hampton went really wide from turn 1. He's lost himself a lot of positions. I don't know if there was contact between him and Daza.
Daza went wide as well at turn 1 as well, and he went off the track momentarily there. Tiger Assassin still finds himself up in 5th place, so even after that chaotic start, and how misbehaved was that down in towards turn 1, Natty. That was not the cleanest start that we've seen from these drivers out in front. The 7/10 of a second, the gap now between our top two, so Absolute already putting the pressure on his Red Bull teammate here at the front of the pack.
Yeah, and Kev has already got a 3-second time penalty that could come back to haunt him at the end of the race. But after that start, no lap 1 safety car, which is good to see.
Yeah, certainly. Just trying to see which cars do currently have damage that they're trying to sustain. I can't see if on Tiger's car there is some damage. The AlphaTauri of Tonios managed to get away with that at turn 5 instant with the Haas. And in fact, yes, Tiger does indeed have front wing damage with about Brizzy behind. Brizzy, I think, still has both of his end plates intact. Indeed, he does. Is he looking for a move there on the Haas? I thought he was thinking about it. That's why he decides to back out of it before going into the hotel section. I think Ace Savo is looking alright on his front end, if the game would show me a shot of it. Yes, indeed he is. Triple O as well. No, Triple O has got damage on the front right-hand end plate of his Mercedes. Alexander Mack has got all of his bits intact. Venturi as well has got all of his bits intact as well. So 1.2 seconds then separates our top two at the moment. 4/10 the gap between Brizzy and Tiger, our closest battle on track at the moment. And this top three fight, this three-way fight for 5th position at the moment.
Yeah, these guys
Ace Savo! Ace Savo down the inside.
Yeah, down the inside of the McLaren, gets up into 6th place.
And yeah, Ace Savo now. Sorry, Savo now with the DRS from coming at the hat of Tiger Assassin here. Overtake on DRS open. And he's just not gaining enough on the Haas, it looks like, but we'll have the DRS once again into turn, and he's going to tie it to the inside though. And Tiger's keeps that position. There's contact between the two cars. Brizzy cuts the corner, try and get alongside Tiger Assassin's Haas. He's going to have the DRS open, and they both are down towards turn 11 here. And can they go 3 wide maybe into the next corner? Tiger's going to go on the inside of both of them. Brizzy's going to sweep round the outside, and Tiger has lost out there. Brizzy with an excellent double overtake gets himself now up into 5th position, Natty.
Yeah, great move from Brizzy, getting past one and then getting past the other up into 5th place. And these guys will allow Triple O to catch up to this fight for 5th place as well. Venturi getting past his teammate Ellison down at just before the double right-hander.
And that's an excellent move there from Brizzy, who puts his McLaren now up to 5th position, a crucial place for them in the Constructors' Championship, although we'll probably be getting a post-race penalty for starting on the incorrect tyre. It's got a Mercedes very wide at the final corner. That would be a corner track extension warning, if anything, for the Mercedes Alexander Mack there. Currently 9/10 of a second behind his teammate down there in 7th position as it stands, and Tiger's come into the pits.
I think I didn't have the best camera angle, but I think Inframella hit Ellison going into turn 1. Ellison maintains 10th place for now, but no wing damage for the Ferrari, but is still closely behind the racing point.
As here comes Ace de Sabo then with DRS open on the McLaren in front of him. Bruzzi has more ERS to defend with though. Come down in towards turn 8, 9 and 10. This chicane, Ace de Sabo's going to look to the inside line. Under braking, gets his Alfa Romeo past the McLaren, goes a bit deep into the corner, covers off the next apex, but Bruzzi's able to get a beautiful switch back, and he's now back ahead of the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, Daza doing a really good move on Inframella down the inside of turn 8 at the hairpin, but Inframella's going to get the DRS down the second straight on the exit of turn 10 into 11. And here he goes in the Ferrari using the DRS, look to the inside, sends one down the inside of the Renault, gets himself up into 11th place and back up ahead of the Renault.
Nicely done there by Infamella, nice clean move, and gets his car now up into 11th position and on the fringes of the points here at the final race of the season. His Ferrari teammate Sabalimesta is suffering some more bad luck, and it's out of this race as Infamella nearly loses it there. Edison's picked up wing damage as well here, Natty, so he might be coming into the pits very soon. Hopefully he doesn't crash at this next corner, which is hard to take with all of it front wing, yet alone half of it.
Yeah, I think Ellison got that end plate damage from the opening lap, hasn't pit to repair it, so Infamella's going to want to try and get past as quickly as he can so he doesn't get held up behind the racing point.
Ace de Sabo getting very leery at turn 1 as well, nearly lost it and went into the wall there. You've got yellows, Tonios, safety car, and Tonios has lost it, Natty. I saw a car flash out the corner of my screen, but I didn't have time to register what it was, and it was Tonios DNFing out of the race, and you have a full-blown safety car here.
Yeah, we saw that's what Daz had done it in quali. We saw a few people do it last season, and I think it might have lost it on the curb, either on entry or on exit, and that's what's forced his Alpha Tower to go spinning off and into the barrier.
And yeah, Mr. Schumacher asking for a Tiger on board, so hope you're enjoying it then. I'm going to see the Haas driver keep up with the Delta for a bit here. Will we see anyone dive into the pit lane, Natty? Do you think it's too early?
I think the hards can go to the end from here. With the safety car for 3 laps, it's definitely going to help. But it's just how much time you're going to lose at the end of this hard stint. That's what I'm sure some of the lead drivers are going to be thinking of. They can probably stretch these soft tyres to maybe lap 12 now, well maybe even lap 13, 14 with the laps under the safety car. Jurtsev appears to be coming into the pits, and he does so.
And it absolutely follows him in. And this is a big reset button then for RC8, who, if you remember, got that lightning start, but has now found himself 6.7 seconds behind his Red Bull rivals in this race.
I was just going to say, this is really good for Bruce. He's starting on the mediums, but he's decided to come into the pits, almost hit the barrier and entry. So Brucey
and the Mac stayed out. Alex from the Mac has stayed out, and he's going to lead the lap here.
Absolutely.
Tunchuri as well.
The absolute 11. Likely 2-stop. Jurtsev for the hard tyres.
That surely must be a 2-stop. For absolute 11, that must be a 2-stop.
Yeah, absolute. Do you think Jurtsev might be able to go to the end?
It's going to be... It will be touch and go. But he just needs to conserve those now out in front. Cannot afford to get into a battle with Alex Mack here. It will be interesting. Be very, very interesting. So, every other driver has gone for a set of the medium tyres, apart from Natty, Jurtsev, as you just said, who's gone for the hards.
And despite double stacking, the Red Bull guys haven't lost too much time. Absolute 11 still come out ahead of RCA and Buzzy, who two drivers who were up there, pitted for the medium tyres. A few guys didn't pit. Hampton, Gaza, Intramerit and Serena, it's going to map the top runners who haven't come into the pit yet, so they'll be likely to come in for the hards come the end, or at the end of their medium stint, which is going to be helped by the safety car.
And at Natty, Jurtsev here has picked up 6 seconds worth of time penalties already. So he really is on the back foot here. This might have been the only shot that Jurtsev had to extend his lead over to Absolute and try and bring home the win here, because he now may not have to make another pit stop, whereas Absolute 11 definitely will here. I can't see those mediums getting to the end of the race.
Those mediums might be able to do 18, 19, 20 laps, but surely not 22.
Yeah, certainly.
We'll just have to wait and see what Absolute 11 decides to do. Obviously, another safety car might see him pit in for hard tyres, but
we could get safety car. We could get safety car in the snap if Ellison gets a shuffle on there in the final sector. And he's now joined the back of the snail.
So Jitsi Kev with the 6-second time penalty is going to be a huge fan of the 3 cars that are in between him and Absolute 11. Absolute 11 wants to try and overtake those 3 cars as quickly as possible so he can get on with his 2-stop if Jitsi Kev's going to the end.
Yeah, certainly. So the safety car here backing up the pack. We won't have DRS for 2 laps until after the safety car has come in. But yeah, once the lights on that beautiful Mercedes AMG GT go out, we will be able to get back to some green flag racing here. And I know we're not in the USA anymore, but I am going to do the boogity because I like doing it. Yeah, we should get the safety car in this lap. In theory, we've got all of the cars now stacked up behind the safety car, so no troubles there. Let's get back to some green flag racing, I think, Natty.
Yep, that's what we want. Green flag racing. Interestingly, Robert Codfather's actually pitched for the soft tyres, so going for a definite 2-stop, but more of an aggressive one.
Yeah, it's Pierre is saying, can we talk about Tiger's luck? He pits 1 lap before, but so yes, certainly. Pierre, that is a massive amount of bad luck there for Tiger. That's hugely unfortunate for him. We haven't seen all of what happened on lap 1, but I'm sure there are various claims and videos will be coming in where we can have a look at what actually happened down there at T1, but we are going to try and get ourselves back towards green flag racing here once again. We've seen how good Absolute 11 and Jitsi Kev can be after a safety car restart. They've both had like storming restarts, so they made up about 4 or 5 positions on 1 lap. Absolute 11 needs one of those today, Natty. He cannot allow for Jitsi Kev to get out in front and be comfortable. He needs to be pushing him all the way to that next pit stop now. Safety car in this lap.
He's on the fresher tyres compared to the 3 guys in front of him. He's got the quicker tyres compared to his teammate currently leading the race and has to make 1 more stop. So let's see what your freshman league champion can do in this race.
Yeah, it's a safety car then scampers off into the distance. Jitsi Kev is going to lead us through the final sector as he becomes the de facto safety car then, meaning that he will dictate the pace before we get back to green flag racing here in Abu Dhabi. Safety car coming around the final couple of corners. Now in the hotel section, going to back the pack up here. Jitsi Kev has to be careful not to accelerate and then go, because he's not allowed to do that. In fact, he's doing a very good job of keeping a nice and steady pace here. Before we go back to the green flag, he will decide where we go back to racing. Jitsi Kev on the hard tyres then. It's going to be very soon, I am sure. Coming around the penultimate corner now, and he is not gone yet. He's doing this very, very late now. He doesn't want to give anybody a stitch, and he's gone now then. So, Jitsi Kev is going to lead us around the final corner. Oh, nearly loses the rear. Alex on the mat nearly loses the rear. And we're going to go back to green flag racing then here in Abu Dhabi. Absolute 11 already making a move on the Ferrari in front of him down towards turn 1. Can he pull it off around the outside? No, he can't. Going to try and switch it back to the inside line now through turn 2. And does get the move done. Absolute 11 already up into 4th position. Ace Sam's got energy and Slight Bates in the background as well. Going down towards turn 5. Can Absolute 11 get past Tunturi? Backs out of the move at the moment, but Tunturi goes wide and locks up. And now Absolute's all over the back of the racing point. Going to go to the outside line for turn 8. And they're going to go wheel to wheel. Tunturi pushes the Red Bull wide, but Absolute 11 gets the absolute best traction of his life. And he's now ahead of the racing point. Tiger Assassin as well in the background going wheel to wheel with Hampton now down the back straight in towards turns 9, 10 and 11. Sorry, Natty.
I was going to say, really good start for Brizzy as well. Got past his teammate in turn 1 and then past Dazza down at turn 4. So really good start for Brizzy on those fresh mediums.
Tiger Assassin already puts his hat now up into 9th position. Intermella looking at the back of Tunturi as well. In towards turn 11 on the inside for the Ferrari. Going to push the racing point to the outside line. There's almost contact between the two. And Alex is watching all of this unfold from behind.
And Absolute 11 is closing in on Alex Gunn and Matt quite significantly. The final section is going to go for it down the inside. Down at turn 15. Gets the move down up into 2nd place. And the hunt begins on his teammate. 1.8 seconds now.
Yeah. And the move that Absolute 11 really needs to make, that was crucial for his race. So we're going to get a battle now between Jitsi Kev and Absolute for the lead of the race at the moment. As that cheers by Bates has gone very wide.
Yeah, I was just going to say Bates wide on at turn 17.
Oh, we've got another car going off. That's going to be Tunturi, who's really struggling to get his tyres up to temperature.
Tiger down the inside of Dazza in the final corner, Brizzy on the inside of Tunturi. So they're 2 moves in 1 corner.
I didn't even see that one. Natty, nice eagle eyes there from Ex-Natty. Now through turns 2 and 3, Tiger Assassin closing onto the back of Tunturi. Perina in the pink Racing Point now, down towards turn 5. Can he make a move on the inside? He's going to go for it here, Natty. On the inside line, makes the move on Tunturi. That's trying to make the move on Ace Sabo as well. Ace Sabo getting ahead of the Renault. Tiger getting ahead of the Racing Point. Here comes Ace Sabo around the outside. There's more contact, and Tunturi forces the Alfa Romeo wide. And they've all managed to escape with no damage then. No DRS at the moment. It's going to be a pure slipstream and late braking manoeuvre. If one of these drivers try to get past the other, not seeing any manoeuvres.
RC8 going down the inside of Infamela. Infamela tried to switch back, but RC8 positioned in his car perfectly. Not to allow the Ferrari to get back at him. There were yellow flags initially in sector 1. I think Bates is just struggling a little bit with his cooked medium tyres.
Yeah, as Ace de Sabo and Das now going wheel to wheel into turn 11. Here comes Ace de Sabo, who swoops around the outside and up into 8th position. Beautiful move there from the Alfa Romeo, and he puts himself further up into the points paying positions for the moment.
And Hampton as well getting past Tunturi at the same corner that Ace de Sabo got past Stazza, I think it was, and puts his McLaren up into 10th place. A good showing from the McLaren boys so far. 6th and 10th is looking good for them in this constructors battle.
As the RC8 closing onto the back of Alexander Macklin, the Ferrari very wide once again, and DRS has been enabled. So we're going to have that slot in the rear wing open down the back straight. Here comes RC8 down in towards turn 1. Doesn't need the DRS. He's going to go down the inside of the Mercedes, and he puts his Alfa Romeo now back up into the podium positions. Absolute 11 though, Natty, and Jutsikev separated by just 8/10 of a second now. And those medium tyres really coming up to temperature faster than Jutsikev's hards. And got yellows in sector 1. That's a Haas round. Is that Robert Codfather? It is Robert Codfather. No safety car just yet though. It's absolute 11, and it's now going to have DRS on his teammate down in towards turns 9, 10 and 11.
Brizzy's got a really good run on Infamela. Sorry, and Tiger's got a good run on Brizzy. Tiger getting past Brizzy on the straight. Can he get Infamela? This could go 3 wide by the end of the straight. It is 3 wide. Brizzy in the middle.
Tiger backs
Ferrari
out.
On the outside.
Oh,
Tiger
but Brizzy's hit. Brizzy's hit Infamela, Tiger's hit Infamela, Infamela's hit Tiger, and there's a very, conflicting battle there, very physical.
And Ace de Sabo says thank you very much, and have both of them. Gets past Infamela down the straight, and his next target is Brizzy up ahead.
Nice opportunistic driving there from Ace de Sabo, puts himself now up into 6th position. Infamela making contact with the Haas. Tiger dives it down the inside. Then he gets tagged round by the Ferrari. Absolute 11 though, all over the back of his teammate for the final sector. He's going to make a move here, Natty. He's going to make a move here into the penultimate corner. Absolute 11 makes a move for the lead of the race, and he has it now, Natty.
Absolute 11 now needs to pull as big of a gap as he can to make his 2-stop strategy work. He will be on the faster tyres than Jutsikev, but he needs to find the pace to get out of that DRS window and put a gap over his teammate.
Yeah, absolute 11 now was going to have to defend for all it's worth against his teammate. He's going to desperately want that lead back. Coming down the back straight now, where we have the first of 2 DRS zones here around the track. 5/10 of a second separates our leaders here. Going to take away from the battles in the midfield just for the moment, because you have a battle up here for the potential lead of the race. Absolute 11 needs to push and get away from his teammate now, build the gap he needs for another pit stop. But Jacob's going to have a DRS now. The more he can make Absolute 11 use his tyres. Yellows in sectors 1 and 2. The Williams off. That's GSY Bates who spun round at turn 4. Just a bit too far back on this occasion, but now Jessica will have a better exit down the back straight, the second of 2 back straights, and we'll have another bout of the DRS detection and DRS open, then that little gap in the rear wing, giving him about 10 mile an hour boost down the back straight. A little bit too far away to make a move on this occasion, but does set the fastest middle sector of anybody.
Infamela's round. Infamela down at turn turn 9 or 8.
Oh!
Tried to go wheel to wheel with Tiger. Tiger tried going down the inside at turn 8. Implementer tried holding it round the outside.
Ace de Sabo and Brizzy now going wheel to wheel through turn 11, 12 and 13 and 14. Here comes Ace de Sabo on the inside of the McLaren, and that was a beautiful liberty. Moves back onto the racing line of the McLaren and nearly takes them both out of the race there. That was very close for Ace de Sabo.
Ace de Sabo is also caught up to the back of Alex Gunn and Mack, who's done 10 laps on those mediums. Might be starting to struggle a little bit. Tiger's also caught up to the back of the McLaren after those guys going wheel to wheel into the final sector as the Mercedes comes into the pits and crashes into the pit lane. Alex and Max hit the pit lane, the barrier on the entrance of the pit lane.
Has it got GSY Bates who spun again? That's huge unfortunate for Alexander Mack, who was driving such a good race. Got into a set of the soft tyres. Oh, we've got Ferrari and McLaren going wheel to wheel into turn 1. Infamilla getting his way past Hampton now. GSI Bates has gone off again, has he? No, he hasn't. He's still on track, but with very, very, very cooked tyres here. 8/10 of a second in between our top two. 6/10 of a second. The DRS open. Can just make a move? He hasn't had the best of exits off of turn 10. Down towards turn 11 now. He doesn't even have the DRS natty, so crucially, he's been able to break that absolute 11. And Tiger's going down the inside of Brizzy now, and he gets his hat, back up into 5th position here. But here comes Brizzy round the outside, gets a bit of traction off the corner. Tiger pulls back in front, but here comes Brizzy now with DRS open, down the second back straight for the second DRS. So here comes Brizzy down into turn 11. He's going to get ahead of the Haas once again. So the topsy-turvy nature of this track being shown there, with one car getting DRS free one zone, but then instantly the other car getting it back. As my phone is just shut down.
Hamilton tried getting past into Meadow as well, down at turn 8. But just couldn't quite get the move done around the outside, and will continue to stay behind the Ferrari, but for how much longer as well. But yeah, there's a nice train forming behind Brizzy's McLaren.
Yeah, sorry to everyone in the chat, I can't see at the moment, my phone has just run out of power. Tiger now, we've got Yellows in sector 3, who's spun round at the hotel section. And we've got the McLaren, that's Hampton coming into the pits with front wing damage. If Miller still has his entire front wing, and Tapperty spun at the final corner! And it's a good thing I didn't use the lull just then, because that would have been instant.
And his
he's retired. And his car is not in the best of places. Could we see another safety car? As Jitsikev now is close back onto his the rear end of his teammate now. Through the back straight once again, if has left the session then, as Jitsikev's now trying to come at his Red Bull teammate in towards turn 11, can't make the move just yet. Tiger Assassin once again gets past Brizzy, but now Brizzy's going to have the run on Tiger, has the DRS open now, he's going to just swoop back round the outside now. This is a brilliant ding-dong battle we're seeing here between these two drivers, but Tiger will have the inside line. Can he go later on the brakes? No, he can't, because the McLaren is later, but Triple O getting past Dazza in the background there in their particular battle for 7th position, but does pick up a 3-second time penalty in the process. But Tiger Assassin now, you get the sense he's being a bit held up here by the McLaren of Brizzy.
Yeah, Tiger he's on 2 like older mediums than the McLaren, but it's definitely still showing pace. Gap out front, still down at 5/10, so Jutsikev's doing well to be able to stay with Absolute. It's absolutely not what Absolute wants to happen. He wants to be able to try and pull away from his teammate, so when he does have to come in for another pit stop, he can come out slightly closest to his teammate.
It's not working that way at the moment, Natty. It's going absolutely wrong. Okay, what's the final race to see? Let's see how many absolute puns we can get in. Oh, he's gone wide! Absolute 11's gone wide, Natty, and Jutsikev's back into the lead of the race.
Jutsikev also has the DRS on the straight as he was the driver behind, going into the activation point. Tiger and Brizzy going wheel to wheel into the down at turn 5 and 7, sorry.
And that absolute 11 will have the DRS down the second of the back straights here in Abu Dhabi. And can he get back past his teammate, back into the lead of the race that he fought so hard to get in the first place? DRS open then for the Red Bull drivers. Can he make a move on Jutsikev here? And at the moment, Natty, he just can't make it happen. And Jursikev's getting past, getting past Tiger once again, but now Tiger will have a DRS down this back straightaway. DRS open for the Haas in the slipstream of the McLaren in front. Can he make a move down the inside? And then pulls the inside line here. Tiger Assassin going down the inside of the McLaren, gets the move done before we even hit the braking zone.
Yeah, good move from Tiger, but getting through second time penalty for cutting the part of the chicane. Jursikov still has those 6 seconds of time penalties in Absolute, and RCA still have none. RCA is just outside 6 seconds, 6.4 seconds is the gap between him and Jursikov. Still needs to make another pit stop here, and with 13 laps to go, Jursikov seems to be in a really good position to win this race.
Yeah, certainly here, Natty. Just passed over 50% distance in this race, and in fact, Ace Savos now is now closing onto the back of his teammate RCA. As he's got a Renault of Daza coming into the pits now. Now, this is where things get interesting, Natty, because we have our other drivers now having to come in for another pit stop here, and it hasn't gone terribly well for Absolute. He needs that gap now. He needs to be ahead of his teammate, really. Does have that DRS, but the gap's over a second between these two now out in front. As Triple O is trying to get his way past Bruzzi now as well, down the back straight on those fresh and medium tyres.
Yeah, Absolute. Daza's into the pits for a set of medium tyres, comes out in 11th place. Should see him to the end of the race. Triple O and Bruzzi going side by side now. Triple O down the inside of the McLaren at turn 8 and gets the move done. Picks up a 3-second time penalty in the process. Bruzzi's going to have the DRS and we run down towards turn 11.
Going to be another overtake here, maybe for Bruzzi down towards 10-11. There's a move he is proving that he likes to do. Too early on the brakes, maybe just manages to not hit the back of the Mercedes there, but he's going to fall down to 7th position. Speaking of the other McLaren, it is round at turn 7 there. That's hugely unfortunate for Hansen, who's been driving a solid race at the moment, but will drop a lot of positions then with that latest spin. As Bruzzi picks up another 3-second time penalty, our top two separated Nancy by 7/10 of a second here with just over 10 laps to go. 190.
Yes. The midfield has started to spread out just a little bit, but we've still got plenty of different strategies going on. We've got Tiger into the pits. I'm assuming this is for his final stop of the race for a set of medium tyres for the Haas. But there's still a lot of the guys inside the top 10 still who look to be making another stop in this race.
Yeah, certainly here, Natty, is our top two now separated by 5/10 of a second, coming onto the second DRS zone then. I'm trying to get the Wi-Fi on my phone. As here comes Absolute now down the second DRS zone here, wide open. The rear slot in the Red Bull. Can he make a move here into turn 11? Late braking, it's going to have to be a bit too far back on this occasion now.
Yeah, not quite close enough to get the move done, but I'm sure in a few laps time he can have another go down the back straight. And common overtaking, well, probably one of the main, if not the only overtaking corners on this track, turn 8 and turn 11. You don't see many other overtakes and many of the other corners, but maybe if Absolute can stretch those mediums to the end, he might be able to snatch this win away from Jursikov.
Well, I think if he wants to win this race, that's what he's going to have to try and do, because he's now running out of laps to get onto a set of soft tyres and really start to close that gap now to Jursikov. As Tiger Assassin picks up a 3-second time penalty then. Let's actually check the tyre penalties at the moment, because it's 6 seconds, Natty, but crucially here, Absolute 11 has an 8-second gap back to RC8 now. So, if Absolute were to stay out and try and go to the end of the race, RC8 has to do something relatively similar. Now follow me here, because if say Absolute stretches these tyres and does get a puncture at the end of the race, most likely he's only going to finish second to RC8. He may also be having similar tyre troubles, or to Triple O, who was also on similarly aged medium tyres. So can Absolute actually stay out here, just take care of the tyres, stay within 6 seconds of Jursikov and still win this race?
I think it's best for Absolute to stay out on those mediums and go to the end of the race. He's just set a middle sector that's 2/10 quicker than his personal best. As Tiger's actually pretty close behind Chinchilla going down the back straight. For 8th place, Tiger's just pitted for those medium tyres and gets the move done up into 8th place. But going back up to Absolute, I think it's best for him to stay out on those mediums to try and stretch him to the end, because if he loses 6 seconds to Jitsikev, he's still going to win this race.
Well, yeah, exactly. That means he can just nurse these to the end, and Jitsikev going to get a bit out of shape. But it's Absolute dives into the pits here, Natty. Absolute in the pits. And this is the turning point in the race then, so the Red Bull mechanics will be doing their best to get their driver back out as quickly as possible. It's for another set of the mediums here, Natty, another set of the medium tyres, so nobody going to the softs. RC8 in as well. Triple O stays out, Triple O does indeed stay out. Brucey's going to stay out as well. Ace Sabo has just come into the pits here. But that is huge for this race, as Absolute 11 on the pit exit now should come out ahead of the Mercedes. So there are no cars between himself and his teammate, and the hunt begins then for the lead of this race.
So yeah, Tiger's actually just set the fastest lap of the race on those fresh mediums. So Absolute 11, game on, 12 seconds in 10 laps. That's what the Red Bull driver needs to try and win this race. It's not impossible, but it's definitely going to be a tough ask from the Red Bull driver.
Yes, now it's on the max 3/10 of a second now behind Daza coming down the hill in towards turns 5, 6 and 7. Can't make a move just yet into turns 5 or 6, but Daza's gone wide and gotten out of shape, and that should give Alex on the Mac a chance now down the back straight. First of the 2 DRS zones, Cheers by Bates gets past Ellison, who's coming out of the pit lane at the moment. Alex on the Mac now 9/10 of a second between these 2 drivers down the back straight. Absolute 11 already taking in about half a second of that lead, but he needs a bit more than that, Natty, really. He needs more than that. He needs over a second a lap, really, doesn't he?
Yeah, he needs about 1.2 seconds a lap ideally.
Oh wow!
Any chance of getting within the time penalty range.
Yeah, it needs about 13 more seconds. We've got about 9 laps left to go here now, so I think that is exactly correct. RC8 now closing onto the back of Brucey, but Ace Sabo, he's been showing some serious pace in this race so far, is now closing onto the back of the pair of them.
Yeah, RC8 as well. Going from Brucey comes into the pits.
It's Ace Sabo now, only just over 1.7 seconds now behind. He's just on the fastest lap of anybody now. See, Ace Sabo coming back into this race here at the end.
And it's softs for Brucey. McLaren, Absolute 11 is closing down that gap. It's going to be close. Jitsikev with that 6-second penalty is definitely going to help him. And although Triple O does have 12 seconds of penalties, he might also go to the end on those mediums.
Potentially. Can Triple O get to the end here and maybe preserve a good strong points position here for the Mercedes team in that battle for 5th in the Constructors? I cannot see the chat for the life of me, so sorry to everybody in the chat, I can't read your comments.
I'm trying to log in, but I forgot my password and my Gmail's not working. I can't log in.
Nice, you love to see it.
But I'll try and get chat as quickly as I can. But looking back to the Constructors, Triple O, if he can keep that third place or in the top 5, he's doing Mercedes a real, getting a lot of points for Mercedes. Tiger as well. What's that? 8 points for the Haas team. So it's going to be really close, but the McLaren's down in 9th and 13th. GSY Bates down in 12th, and there were 2 racing points, only scoring 1 point. It could be really close between those guys for 5th place.
The only thing is, though, Natty, is that Triple O isn't that far ahead of the cars behind. I mean, he most likely will fall down to about 6th here if he stays out on track at his current pace. There's a 12-second gap at the moment between Tiger and Daza in that particular battle for 6th position, but I don't know, I feel like he should have come into the pits because he's going to be a sitting duck now for RCA. He's going to swoop round the outside at turn 5. Doesn't even need the DRS, but Triple O gets the elbows out in the final race of the season. Dazzle comes back into the pits. So now actually, there is a nice window there for Alexander Mack to box back out into if he was to go for a pit stop. There's a nice 15-second little buffer there that he can stop back out into.
Yeah, he might, yeah, he could pit and not lose too many positions. But, just looking at the time again...
He's just a sitting duck at the moment.
Yeah, and Absolute 11 as well. It's not closing that gap down as much as he'd be hoping for. Did set the fastest lap of the race a few laps ago, but it doesn't seem like there's too much pace on the fresher tyres, interestingly. Obviously, well, he's only done one lap, but it's not coming down as much as you'd have thought.
And Natty, for one final time this season, it's happening. I think we've hit a bit of a lull, ladies and gentlemen. Final time this season. Come on, let's inject some oomph into this race.
Everyone prepare yourself, because mayhem's about to unfold it.
Well, Daz is closing onto the back of GSY Bates, so I know the lull's not going to strike there, I don't think. Into turns 11, 12 and 13. Ace to Sabo.
Down the inside into turn 1.
Gets the move done.
So, a lot of lag on my screen. Ace to Sabo's car went into the ground.
You'd love to see it. Daz now closing onto the back of GSY Bates. They head into the hotel section. There's almost a big crash there between the Williams and the Renault. As now Alexander Mack makes his way into the pits to GSY Bates. Bates is round. Matt, if he has saved that, that would have been... he hasn't managed to save it. He does have ring damage and is bringing it back into the pits now. Oh, he's crashed into the pit lane. He's out. Virtual safety car.
Oh dear.
Oh, it's only a virtual. That's alright. Well, that's hugely unlucky there for GSY Bates. Yeah, that's going to neutralise the race somewhat. Can Triple O come into the pits before we get back to some green flag racing here, Natty? But has that now helped out Jutsikev? The lull has worked against us. Because that's now helped out Jutsikev as Absolute 11. Jutsikev comes into the pits. Wow. But surely, Natty, that was the wrong decision. Because now he's going to come out behind Absolute. With a 6-second time penalty.
Obviously, with the safety car, lap times are reduced by about 40%.
Well, Jutsikev coming down the main straight. Yeah, Absolute's gone past. Virtual safety car's still out.
Jutsikev find a lot of time on those soft tyres. He's got to find at least 10, like more than 10, 12, 13 seconds.
The hunter becomes the hunted. As now Jutsikev exits the pit lane, 3.6 seconds between himself and Absolute. And that to me screams all kind of wrong choice. For Jutsikev, he has now got 6 laps to close a 3-second gap to Absolute and then open a 6-second gap if he wants to keep the lead of this race.
Wow, it's going to be a huge ask. It's going to require a massive mistake from Absolute 11. Maybe Jutsikev might get the elbows out for this last race, but we'll have to wait and see. But on the fresh mediums, Tiger is gaining on Triple O. Has done 15 long hard laps on those mediums. I'm sure they're going to be so slow, so painful to drive. Got yellow flags. Ellison's retired.
Oh wow!
He's done the same thing as Tonios.
And again, and that's now played into the hands of Absolute 11, because now Jutsikev has less time to chase down that gap, and the race has just been flipped on its head once again. But
that's why
will Absolute come in? No, he doesn't. I can't work out why Jutsikev came into the pits. He must have had more tyre wear than we thought. But this is now a perfect opportunity for Triple O to come into the pits, get off that set of medium tyres and go to a set of hards and consolidate what is probably going to be a 6th position here. Does he come in? Triple O stays out. Chipolo stays out.
This is why certain words shouldn't be used. But while we're under the virtual safety car,
again,
I'm trying to sign into Twitch, and I've got my username and password, but it's giving me a 6-digit code to my email, but I'm not getting the code. If anyone knows the solution, please at me on Discord.
But Nasty, Kev got the virtual safety car coming off at exactly the right moment, because he's now ahead, closing to 1.8 seconds now between our top two, 1.6, 1.5, the gap's coming down all the time, and has that virtual safety car actually helped him out? They're both weaving to try and get some temperature in their tyres. The gap now 1.4 seconds. Stop weaving, boys, because you need to get on with this race.
And meanwhile, Tiger battling on Triple O for 5th place. Triple O in that Mercedes is sliding about.
He's got nothing left on those
tyres. And here comes Tiger. There should be an easy move to the inside. Gets himself up onto 5th place, and that's good points for the Haas team in the construction.
Jutsi Kev 7 tenths behind. Jutsi Kev 7 tenths behind now. On towards lap 23 of 28. It's gonna be a mammoth ask, but he's gone round the outside of Absolute. Absolute's got a penalty. Absolute's got a penalty. He comes to the pits.
Is that drive-through?
No, surely it is. Absolute 11 picks up a drive-through penalty. Oh my word! Absolute 11 picking up a drive-through penalty after speeding under the virtual safety car. He has to come back in now, and he's going to drop behind RC8, potentially behind Ace DeSabo, and even behind Tiger Assassin here maybe. He's coming towards turn 1 now. And that is massive for Absolute 11. So now RC8 is second in this race, and Absolute has to fight his way back up onto the podium with 5 laps left to go, including this one.
There we go, Absolute. Let's see what you can do then. Against Savos his first test, and then he's got to try and close 3 seconds down to RC8. But wow, how this race has suddenly
suddenly been turned very much onto its head then. Absolute 11, 2/10 of a second. That's going to make a move here on Ace DeSabo. Gets himself back up onto the podium straight away then, and back up into 3rd position. 2.8 seconds now ahead to RC8. Can Absolute 11 close that gap? Can he get back into 2nd place here? How many penalties does Jutsi Kev have? So his penalties still got that 6 seconds. Triple O of 12 seconds. Yellows again. There's a McLaren off now. That's Hampton. He's spun round again, and he's facing the wrong way. And now he's behind the Rolex sign. He's spun round again, and he's headed the right way now. And so Matt's going to try and nick that final point off him then.
Jutsi Kev setting the fastest lap of the race. He's going to be pushing on those soft tyres. Well, he's going to have lots of pace. Those fresh soft tyres, but
Alex Matt getting past Hampton as well and putting his car up into 10th position.
Absolute 11, 2.2 seconds to RC8. The gap is coming down. He's got 3 laps to close it and get the move done.
Yeah, both of these drivers running with no penalties at the moment then, but that drive-through penalty then for Absolute really has ruined his race. He definitely can't get the win now based just purely on pace. He needs a mistake really from Jutsi Kev, or him to pick up a couple of more penalties to really get back into this now.
Yeah, I'll quickly check RC8 in Absolute's penalty check. RC8 has got no warning. Absolute 11 has 2 warnings, so 1 more warning for Absolute 11, and it will be a 3-second time penalty against his name. RC8 is clear of any warnings, so he's in a good chance to maintain 2nd place, but the gap is coming down now. 1.7 seconds between the Red Bull and the Alfa Romeo.
Yes, this will be our final battle then of the season. It looks like for the podium positions, these top 3 seemingly like Bottas, Hamilton and Verstappen really. It seems we always have these 3 on the podium no matter what happens then, but definitely a very crazy season in the freshman. We've had some manic races, some more well, I wouldn't even say more casual race. It's probably one of the more casual races. It's still been insane. But we still had much drama over the course of this season, of which Absolute 11 still came out victorious. Then, as I've got some lag on my screen now, Mr. Sabo going into two places at once, it seemed like, on my screen. As I'm looking at Triple O now. His tyres must be dead.
You can see the blistering on the front right, and we saw what happened to Jetsy in the Premier Series, and when he went wrong on his tyres, completely burnt them out. You can see the rear tyres as well, that look horrible.
Yeah, I wish you could get a nice slow-mo shot of the tyres, because they look very bad.
AWS graphics.
Get some AWS tyre graphics up. Absolute 11 now. 0.8 of a second between himself and the Alfa Romeo of RC8, braking hard, braking! He's nearly missed his braking point into turn 8 and 9. Now on the DRS, once again, down towards turns 11, 12 and 13. He's probably a bit too far back on this occasion, still weaving to get some temperature into those tyres.
But the gap, now 3/10. That's far between Absolute and RC8 is likely to get the move done down the end of the start-finish straight, but we know that fight back with the DRS going to turn 11, so yeah, these two guys, like you say, Bottas, Hamilton, Verstappen, has always been up there, so it's going to be a great race, a great fight to the end with only 2 laps to go.
Yeah, Tunchiri's made his way past Dassenden for 8th position as well, so old scores to be settled there between Racing Point and Renault, both with only 1 car left running in this race. Absolute 11 is so close behind the back of RC8, then 2 laps to go. RC8 will fight this as hard as he can, I'm sure, but Absolute just seems to have more pace at the moment here, coming around turn 2, down towards turns 3 and 4, and to the hairpin of turn 6. Can he make a move here? For Absolute 11, not at the moment, just keeps it nice and slow. Going to get a better drive off of the hairpin. He's going a bit too early on the apex though, and that's going to run him out wide over the AstroTurf, and that's compromised his exit now. Off of the corner, DRS open for Absolute 11, but he's lost a lot of time now before he gets that slot in the rear wing open once again.
Yeah, he's got, another DRS straight to give it another go, plus another lap. But he's only got 1 lap extra on those tyres compared to RC8, and we know what Absolute has done throughout the season. He's like to save his ERS towards the end of the race. He's still got 40% left to use, and with only 1 lap to go, it's going to be a last lap overtake, I think, for Absolute 11.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to dump all of his ERS through one of these DRS zones to get ahead of the Alfa Romeo. He might not even need it here. Can he go for a move at the beginning of the hotel section? Decides not to go for it just yet, so backing out of it there, probably the wise decision of the 2 he could have made. Piero calling a Tiger Assassin Nico Hulkenberg then, yeah, he has had many races where he started high, then had an instant on lap 1, then come back to a finish in about 5th or 6th position, so yeah, he's going to have to wait till next season for that elusive podium at the moment then. 0.3 of a second now, this gap between 2nd and 3rd. On to the final lap of the race, final lap of the Freshman League in 2020 then. Hampton, the 3-second time penalty is picking up more, or have to do more damage control even at the end of this race. Now, on to the final lap then, our top 2 in the championship, RC8 and Absolute 11, are going to be duking it out here for 2nd position. So there'll be a DRS advantage for Absolute down this back straight. He's dumping all of his ERS, Natty, like we said, and now he's closing on the back of the Alfa Romeo. He's going to pull alongside the Alfa Romeo, going to pull ahead of the Alfa Romeo before we even get to the braking zone, as the Mercedes gone round in sector 1. But RC8 late braking round the outside of the Red Bull, gets himself back passing up into 2nd position now. But here comes Absolute then down the 2nd of the 2 DRS straights. RC is going to go defensive. Absolute's going to have to fight this, going to go to the outside line. Can he brake later than the Alfa Romeo? Yes, he can. Going to swoop around the outside, and he now puts his Red Bull up into 2nd position here, and that should be the final blow in this battle.
A good move for Absolute 11.
Triple O's got heavy wing damage here, Natty, and he's dropped a position now to Brizzy, and those tyres really have gone off. He was the Mercedes that went off in the 1st sector. but none of that's going to matter to Jutsikev, who crosses the line to win in Abu Dhabi. And what a season it has been for Jutsikev. Wasn't able to arrive for all of the races, but he has nonetheless done a brilliant drive. Absolute 11, capped off a championship winning campaign with second place on the podium, and he stops at the line. He's had to let RC8 go back for no, he doesn't. He's just to tease him and go across the line. Ace Saber in 4th, Tiger Assassin picking up strong points once again in 5th position for Haas. Brizzy looks like he will be taking that 6th position, 24 seconds now behind Tiger Assassin at the end of the race there. And yeah, what a race, what a season it has been here in the freshman. Tanchuri getting back ahead of Dazzlin in this battle for 8th and 9th position, which is still going on in the final closing stages of this race. Dazza trying to get round Tanchuri here. Can he make a move in the final sector? 0.3 of a second is the gap. Brizzy has crossed the line to finish in 6th position. What can Dazza do here? Can he dive to the inside maybe at the final corner? Going to get a better exit than Tanchuri off the final corner. It's going to be separated by less than 1/10 of a second, and Dazza just misses out on 8th position by over a 1/10 of a second. And what a what a way to cap off the season there. There's a great driving there for all of the people. Managed to stay in the race and keep it on track, and well done to everybody who has driven this this season in the freshman, and well done especially to Absolute 11, who is our championship victor here today. And yeah, what a way to cap off the season then. So definitely wasn't a boring one here in Abu Dhabi like we had on the weekend. So our drivers obviously better than the real life Formula 1 drivers. Anyone who doubts that is bad. Alright, 258 comments, guys. Thank you for all tuning in, and 40 viewers as well. That is insane. That might be the highest that we've had almost all season here, and yeah, that's been a great season for us here in Gavra Racing. A great season here in the Freshman League. We've had dramatic races all the way through, and the man who came out on top is the man on the right hand side of the podium there, Absolute 11, with his Michael Schumacher skin, takes the championship and takes another podium up here in the Freshman League. Breaking all kinds of records, this particular Red Bull duo, and I'm sure they will go on to achieve great things in the futures of their career. But let's just stop for a minute and say a big thank you to Gavra. He does all of the stuff around here on the website to make sure that we can go racing and that we can bring you guys the action from the track. So a big round of applause to Gavra. I'm going to scroll down in the standings so you guys can see that. So in that 12 finishes in that race, Jutsu kept taking the final one of the season. Absolute 11 in 2nd, RC8 3rd, Ace Sabo in 4th, Tiger Assassin in 5th, Rizzy 6th, Tiger Triple O 7th even, Tanchuri in 8th, Dazza 9th, and Alex Mack the last of the points paying positions in 10th, Hampton 11th, and Robert Codfather the last of our finishers today in 12th position, a full 30 seconds behind the next car. But yeah, well done to all of the drivers who participated in this, and we have 2 more races to go for this season of Gavra Racing. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be at Abu Dhabi again for the Premier Series, where the Constructors' Championship is still undecided, but a post-race penalty for one of the AlphaTauri drivers has meant that they will be missing qualifying, and they are in that championship fight. Don't forget, on Thursday as well, we have the Super League. Tune in for that. Tiger Assassin and Scythe Knight will be your commentators, but we'll be taking you through the last of the action from the Super League, the fastest league here on Formula 1 in Gavra Racing. And on Friday, we're not done yet for 2020. We still have the GT Sport race to decide the winner there at Lago Maggiore, or Maggiore, depending on your persuasion. And we're still not done, because a few weeks after this, after Christmas and New Year's Day, we're going to be bringing you a Formula 2 league right back here on F1 2020 to round off what has been an excellent season and introduce a new season here of drivers in Gavra Racing, new season of commentators, some new faces around the various paddocks. And from me and Natty, it has been a pleasure to commentate on this league, and we're going to see you guys next season. Thank everybody for joining.